everyone, this is Barbara. I wanted to pop in real quick and share a walkthrough video of the first 7 days of my December daily album. All of these pages have already been photographed and shared on my blog, so I'll make sure in the description box below to link those blog posts in case you want to see static images of the pages and read a little bit more about how and what I did. And there's also links in those blog posts to all of the products that I used. So I will make sure to link those below. To start out my album, I like to make one sheet that covers all of the page protectors behind it. It's just a look that I like, so that's what I do. And this year I used a PDF printable that came from Kelly Perky Shop. This card, it was a 3x4 card that came in her kit, and she also sold PDF files of the cards in case you wanted to print your own. So I was able to take that PDF file and enlarge it so I could make the larger size that I needed. And I love how it turned out. I just added a glitter star instead of the printed star, added some numbers and a rubber banner. And I like how the pink plays with the green cover of the album. For day one, I typically will start with some sort of image of my daughter with her advent calendar. Sometimes I'll start with an image of the elf. It just so happens that this photo has the two in them, so I kind of like how that worked. This year she asked for a Zoom Zoom advent calendar instead of the Lego, so I wanted to make sure to get that in there because it was different from previous years. This journaling card came in the Kelly Perky kit, and I really liked the sentiment as far as it relates to children. This is a printable from In a Creative Bubble that I just edited to match the color. And then I added in a little Avery tab on the side. These sentiments on this stamp came from Paisley Press. It was a stamp set that coordinates with their mini kit. And since that's the mini kit I purchased from Allie this year, I picked up the stamps as well. I added this silver star on top of the page protector. The number is actually inside. And mainly because I thought it just needed something extra, and that ended up being just what it needed as far as I'm concerned. And since this day one had two stories, I opted to cut this sheet protector down just so it didn't look like two separate stories, but it made it seem like it was all part of the same day, which in essence it was. My mom and I went on a holiday home tour, and I wanted to include that part of the day since it happened that day. I didn't think it was a story I could tell later because it was on December 1st. So this is a journaling card from In a Creative Bubble. It came just black and white, so I added in the color to fill in the word tradition. I think I just pulled some red from the Nutcracker over here. I slipped in the ticket just so I could save it because I like it because it shows where the homes were that we toured. Since we weren't able to take photos inside the homes, I wanted to include something, so this giant Nutcracker at the last house kind of begged to be featured. I thought he was pretty awesome. So I printed that full size. This is a story that is an example of something that happened in November. We put up our outdoor lights right around Thanksgiving. It's a story I still want to include in the album since it relates to Christmas, so I don't mind including it, even though it happened in November. Simple photos, one of my husband and my daughter. This was a card from the Paisley Press kit. It had a different sentiment underneath, but I just wanted to use this banner really badly, this rubber banner, so I attached it. It's on the outside of the page protector. These black chipboard numbers were an additional purchase from Allie this year, and I grabbed them because I thought I would use a lot of them, and I'm sure I will. The next day, we actually did get our tree on the 3rd. Usually we get it around Thanksgiving, but this year we got it a little bit later, so it kind of worked out. This was the tag that was on the tree, and I really liked the pop of green against all of the photographs. This is an In a Creative Bubble printable card. I modified it a little bit. I don't remember what was in this slot before, but I really wanted to use the black square tree sticker that came in Jamaica's kit from Kelly, the Holiday Tradition kit. This is a white chipboard number that Allie sold last year, I believe, or it was part of her kit last year. I can't remember, but I really like the size of these chipboard numbers, and I love that they're white. Day 4, simple day. It was the day my mom went home, and she always takes a photo with my daughter outside, and it's fun to see how quickly my daughter is gaining on her in height. This is one of the 4x4 cards that came in the Holiday Tradition kit that Jamaica designed for Kelly, and I really liked how the red played against my mom's plaid shirt. This is journaling that I added digitally before I just printed this out. You could also just type on it. I know Jamaica's been showing that that's what she's been doing on her cards and looks really cool, but I needed to say something and I needed to make it small, so I typed it prior to printing it. These are the letterpress number tags from Kelly's kit that I really liked, and I like how just simple it is. Day 5. As you can read on my blog post, this is a tradition that I started for my daughter where she picks out wrapping paper for her gifts only. And on this day was the day we went to Target to pick it up. This is a really old sequin heart from Heidi Swap that I love. This came in the Paisley Press mini kit. And again, one of Allie's black chipboard numbers. And I just popped up the dots of this using foam tape just to lift it. I think you can see there. Just because I wanted to layer it on top of the rubber and I didn't want it to look wonky. So there's a little foam tape just popping that up. And because my daughter chose black, holographic, hot pink, unicorn paper this year and knew it wasn't going to go with the typical Christmas colors. So when I originally made the page, I just had this photo stuck on top of the black paper and it just clashed too much and I wasn't loving it, and I kind of decided to sleep on it. And laying in bed, I thought, well, what if I layer vellum between the photo and the black paper just to kind of soften it a bit and still allow you to see it. So that's what I ended up doing. This is an old piece of vellum that came from Cosmo Cricut, and what I did is I just cut it the exact size, 4.5 by 6.5, which is what this base page is, and folded it so that there was like an extra inch, and then I laid it underneath on top of my cardstock base, laid the folded vellum, and then laid the paper on top. You can kind of see how that's glued down, and then folded it like a book. So then it allows it to open, but it's still tucked in and it's not in the way of the back side. And then this is a planner tab from Studio Calico, but I liked the black and I liked how it played with this black number. And I also liked that you would be able to see the December from the back side as well. So on day 6 was the day we stuffed and mailed our Christmas cards. So here you can see that December again, and it plays against the 6 here. This is an old, large chipboard number from Studio Calico. And what I did is I hand stuck these little hexagon sequins, or glitter, I guess. They were in little jars in the dollar spot at Target, and I really liked the shape. And I thought it mimicked the glitter that she's blowing on this photo across the page. So I really liked it. I just added some simple text on a piece of cardstock, glued on the sequins, applied my number, and called it done. So this is the front of the card. I used these old basic grade tiny attachers, or attach me stickers is what they're called, and I used my tiny attacher to staple them on. These are out of stock or long discontinued, but I have enough supply on hand that I used them, and I really love them. But there's some cut files out in the world. Studio Calico made a metal die for these kind of attached stickers, or attached tabs. So there's options out there for you. So this is the front of the card. My friend is a photographer and she does our family photos, or has for the last few years. And this is a photo that she surprised me with. I didn't know she had taken it until I got the photos back from her, and I just loved it. So I wanted it to be the cover of, or the front of our Christmas card this year. I added a couple more photos that she took on the back. I didn't show this on the blog because the cards hadn't gone out yet, and now people are starting to receive them, so you can see what's on the back. My daughter plays soccer and she turned 10 this year, so I wanted to put a special photo just showing her, and I like it. Day 7 was a simple entry. It's just a photo of my mantle, mainly talking about this star garland that I made because I couldn't find one to buy. So I wanted to include that. And plus the mantle looks different than normal, and I changed things up this year. So I wanted to make sure I captured that. How I did this was the reflection in this mirror was really not ideal. So I just created an oval in Photoshop and made it white, and then changed the opacity so you could still see a little bit of the reflection in the mirror, but not so much that it was distracting. And then I just typed my text, added a few stars. This is one of the stars that was on the garland that I made, and then I stuck in one of Kelly's number tabs. So that's it. That's days 1 through 7. This past weekend was my daughter's big birthday, so I have a lot to catch up on there, and I will be posting those pages as soon as they're done. So thanks so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.